I've now been practicing meditation for about 45 years. And one of the things with meditation, I think it really does transform us internally on the way that we view and act in life. I think in many, many ways, what it does, it makes us just that little bit more detached from our emotions and our thoughts. It gives us the ability also to be able to view them and see them and understand them in a better perspective. And that, in many ways, just helps over time to make us better people. But meditation is not something like turning a light on overnight. It's something we need a regular practice at, something we need to do daily and over a long period of time. Because the changes are slow, they're gradual. But having had those changes, you can never go back. They're always the same. I myself have practiced a lot of Buddhism in the Tibetan traditions, particularly with the Dalai Lama. And I was with him maybe about 18 months ago, and there were a group of people who'd come in who'd created charities working in conflict zones. So these were countries like Lebanon, Syria, Libya, Iraq, Colombia, Mexico. And what was interesting, that asking these questions, and some of them were hard questions. I can remember the second person to speak to him asked him a question and said, well, look, I'm working with this group to create peace, but the same group murdered my mother and father. How do I emotionally deal with that? And he never answered any of the questions directly. What he did was go back to a story about his life. And so the first day, people weren't so sure. Second day, everyone's leaning forward intently to listen to him. Third day, they were crying. But what was happening here was transcendental. It was beyond the grip of the people in the room, because the energy and the power he operated from worked at a subconscious level or a transcendental level. And that's the same thing you have with your president and the other great monks there in Dhammakaya. The time I spent there last year for me was truly profound, truly profound. And this energy, in many ways, it's working in the subconscious, as I've said, but it also works systematically. So we live within these bigger systems. And I think as we develop and we get deeper and more in touch with ourselves, we start to now work on broader issues about humanity. And in many ways, many of us will end up on peace. And that is what's happened to me. So the development of the Global Peace Index, in many ways, and positive peace, were in many ways the way I tried to reach out to create a better world. And what I realised from the study of that, we live in these vast systems which are interconnected in ways we can never, ever understand. But if we think about the inner peace and we think about the outer peace, the two are connected in very deep ways. So we can only go as far in as we can go. But the environments around us, in many ways, set the conditions for which we can actually start to appreciate our inner self. Imagine if there's no Dhammakaya. So the outer environment which wouldn't allow it to occur. So that outer environment is incredibly important. And that's what positive peace is about. It's describing the outer environment which leads to a conducive environment for people to develop their inner peace. So the outer and the inner are inexplicably combined, almost impossible to separate. This age of COVID-19, and for you all this year, is different than any other year you've done it. Normally, 250,000 to 1 million people are gathering together in Bangkok for a great celebration. Today, everyone's scattered through 1,000 rooms around the world. It's a very, very different environment. So what will COVID-19 mean for the future? In many ways, for me, it's been good. It means I've had more time in my house, more time to myself, therefore more time to meditate. And I've truly enjoyed that aspect. But COVID-19 is not going to go away soon. I believe we'll feel the effects of this for many, many years to come. Many of the effects will be economic. And those economic effects are going to move on and lead for harder times going forward. There'll be more unemployment, there'll be more civil unrest. And so in this kind of environment, it's very, very important for all of us, and I mean all of us, to really focus on our inner self and being able to actually manage any afflictive emotions which arise. Now, at this point, I think I'll stop. But look, I'm just truly honoured to be talking to you all, and I wish you the best for your festival.